Have you ever wondered why you struggle so much as a new real estate agent? And maybe even you're a veteran agent or you're under 10 years and you're still struggling and you have inconsistent leads coming in and inconsistent income coming in. Why is that? Well, guess what? You're probably missing 5 different marketing steps or secrets that I'm going to share with you in this video. And when you start implementing these secrets into your business, guess what? I'm going to share with you what the outcome is going to be too. And it's going to be fantastic. So you're going to want to stay right until the end of this video because this is the path forward. If you are a new agent and you would like to make your life so much easier, simpler, and you'd like to simplify the process of real estate so you can have predictable, consistent GCI year in and year out, and you can actually see growth in your business as a real estate agent instead of like up, down, sideways, all over the place, stick right until the end of this video and I will share with you what these 5 secrets right here that I'm going to share with you ultimately lead to. Let's dive into that right now. What is that very first marketing secret that's going to make our life a little bit simpler? Well, the number one thing that I suggest that agents really start to focus on is your own personal branding. I'm going to write that down. Why? Okay? When you're first getting started in real estate, a lot of new realtors rely on the brokerage and they rely on the branding of the brokerage and they put too much of their trust in the brokerage and the brokerage name. They think that's actually going to make a big difference for their real estate business. And guess what? The majority of people out there, they don't care. They work with you because of you. They work with you because they trust you. They work with you because you have integrity. They work with you because you care. They work with you because you're empathetic. They work with you because they know they can get a result with you and they like you or they know you from history or whatever it may be. They're not working with you because your brand. Your brand plays a very, very small role. Where a brand actually comes in, say you're working for Keller Williams, Remax, Century 21, something like that, these bigger brands out there that are more well known, these ones come into more of a play is when you're dealing with cold traffic or people that you don't really know that well. When you're dealing with warm traffic, when you're dealing with hot traffic, okay, and warm traffic is people that you know, maybe they're acquaintances, you don't know them overly well. Hot traffic is people that you've worked with before in the past. Maybe they're more intimate people, friends, family, stuff like that. That's hot traffic, people that you know. They already know your character, they know how you show up, they know who you are, they already trust you, okay? When you're dealing with cold traffic, you have to build a little bit more trust and you have to put in more time and effort to get that trust, okay? They will commonly come up like, hey, which brand do you work for if you are going into a listing presentation with somebody that you don't know that well. So a brand comes in a little bit more when you're dealing with cold traffic. However, don't rely on your brand to get real estate leads, to get listings and stuff like that because your brand does very little for you. I've been with numerous brands over the years and trust me, that question does not come up very often. Yes, you will be asked, who do you work for? But you can share that. But at the end of the day, I have seen very successful real estate agents working for brands that are not even well known, okay? There's one in particular in the area that I work with. It's a brand that was started a couple of years ago and she's like killing it. She's dominating it. So people are working with her because they know her, like her, and trust her. This is probably a mistake that I see newer real estate agents make is relying on the brand, and please don't rely on the brand. Rely on your own brand. And shortly I'm going to reveal a couple more secrets that actually will allow you to enhance your brand in the marketplace, enhance your brand in your local area. So that's the number one thing. Number 2, I would say you always would like to lead with value, okay? And I mentioned this in other videos, but you always want to be thinking in terms of value, not sales pitches. You don't have to do much selling in this business. Yeah, maybe a little bit in your listing presentations, but you always want to be leading with value with anything that you do out into the marketplace, okay? Giving, 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 giving. It's a law of reciprocity eventually. The universe rewards people that give more into the marketplace. So when you approach real estate this way, and even if you approach your life in this way and the things that you do in this way and the people in your life in this way, guess what? You get rewarded for that value. And maybe the value that you're giving isn't coming directly from the person that you gave it to, but it kind of comes in and sweeps in around you in other avenues, okay? So you always want to think about giving value. It's not about taking. And the reason that I say this too is as a new realtor, you come across a little bit desperate or you'll take on anything, okay? You always want to be thinking like, how can I contribute to someone? somebody? How can I make their life easier, better, more simpler? Can I direct them in a way? Can I answer a question? Can I connect them with somebody? How can I leave them better than when they came to me, okay? Whether they work with me or not, when you have this mindset, the abundance will come around back to you, okay? So leading with value and giving to the marketplace. You don't have to be salesy with this, okay? I had a mentor early on share this with me as well. There's no selling. Like a house sells itself. Clients come into the house, there's nothing you have to do or say. They fall in love with the house themselves. So I used to get in my head about what am I going to say to them, and I read all these sales books of like how I can persuade somebody in a certain direction to ultimately buy the house. Yes, it's good to know how to build rapport with certain people very quickly. I can share that in another video if you're interested. Let me know below if you're interested in learning a little bit more about how building rapport with somebody quickly so you can build trust quicker as well. I can shoot a video on that as well if you're interested. There's no hard selling in real estate, okay? If you're attempting to hard selling, it's like you're doing things harder than they need to be. It doesn't need to be that way. You can be in alignment with yourself. You can do things that actually flow with you. So me, I don't even think of myself as a sales representative in real estate. It's me going, how can I support somebody? How can I help somebody? How can I get this person the best outcome that they're attempting to achieve here? And yes, most people would like the highest price possible. And if you're working on the buyer side, they would like the lowest price possible. So how can we make this work? Everybody feels like they've won here, okay? Again, there's no hard selling, there's no sales pitch, so you can kind of take that away. Stop worrying about what you're going to say and how you're going to sell people, okay? You're a human being. Yeah, me too. I'm a human being helping another human being. That's it. How can you provide value? If you can shift this in your brain about giving value first, you will dominate your market. You really will, because there's so many people out there, specifically in real estate, that are just taking all the time. They want something. So when you have the opposite approach of giving value first, you will dominate your market, okay? So that's number 2, I would say, that I see real estate agents in general, whether you're new or you're 10 years plus. Think in terms of value. Number 3, paid ads versus posting. Now, I see people post, they post quite a bit. They post about all their new listings they have or sold over asking. I think it's a bunch of nonsense, honestly. You don't have to post to ultimately get business. Yes, you would like people to know that you're in business, but I'm a firm believer in paid ads. Facebook and YouTube specifically, more right now, more than ever, for somebody to get to know you, like you, and trust you before they book an appointment with you to come and do an evaluation at their house is YouTube ads. You can do it with Facebook too, but YouTube is a search engine, so you can specifically target people that are looking in your local area and give them value first, and then they don't care if you're with a certain brand because you're building your personal brand. See how these all start to tie in together when you learn these 5 marketing secrets? Again, paid traffic is a great way to brand yourself, put yourself out there, and get yourself noticed. And you can do it for very little amount these days with Facebook and YouTube specifically. And you can track the metrics of who sees you? Have they clicked on your ad? Is it working? Okay, so I'm a firm believer. If you haven't got into the paid ads game or attempted this in your real estate business, I highly suggest you start to look into this, and you can watch other videos on this channel that I talk about how powerful it is when you have a sales funnel working in the background for you. And I often talk about an offline method and an online method. Well, guess what? This would be the online method that you're working on. Once you create the assets, a training, a lead magnet, whatever it is, giving value, you build your personal brand, and you have this working in the background. And then there's other offline methods, boots on the ground, that you can do as well while this is working for you and you're building your personal brand. So that is an avenue that I highly suggest, if you haven't looked into, to look into, to kind of layer this and start to build value and goodwill in your marketplace, okay? Number 4, visibility is important. Why do I talk about visibility? Because you would like to build your personal brand. Okay, a lot of times that I know for myself, I'm introverted. Okay, so it was very challenging me when I got into this business. I didn't even want to put my face on the sign. Guess what? If you don't put yourself out there, you don't get business. And probably, I know the majority of real estate agents do a personality test. A lot of them stand in the I category of a disc profile of they're influencers, they're social people. Okay, and if you haven't done a personality test, I highly suggest that you look into doing a personality test so you understand yourself better, and in turn you can understand your clients better. It's about building rapport, and I'm sure if you've been in real estate for a while, you probably have done one. But the majority of real estate agents, they land in the I category of a disc profile, and they're social. Okay, but for me, I wasn't. I'm an analytical person. I'm a numbers person. I remember doing this with a brokerage. There's about 25 people. I'm a high C, so that's, again, analytical person. There was only about 3 of us out of the whole brokerage. There was about 25 of us there. So I remember that. But making yourself notice, okay, and having that visibility, and it doesn't have to be perfect, okay? We are, as human beings, your humanity. People can notice when you're authentic, when you're true to yourself. They can recognize that, and they know that. You can get in this analysis paralysis of perfection. Making yourself notice, putting yourself out there, and continuing to take steps forwards and making decisions outbeats perfection every time. Okay, it's the speed of putting stuff out there and giving value in the marketplace as well. And again, this kind of ties into having paid ads. When you have visibility in your market, your city, and you can do this with YouTube. Facebook's not as targeted as YouTube. This is why I constantly am talking about YouTube. You can pinpoint your city specifically, and people will notice you. You'll get visibility. You'll work on your personal brand. You can give value by running through paid ads, and you get visibility in the marketplace. And people start to see you as a local expert. They start to see you as a trusted authority, and they know that you're in real estate, and you start to get recognized when you start to do other things in your city, whether it's playing tennis or curling or doing other activities that you do. People will start to notice you because they see you. You're on their TV, you're on their iPad, you're on their phone, you're on their desktop. They see you everywhere, and you can have yourself seen as many times as possible, and it's all trackable. That's what's so important about it. Number 5, secret of marketing here as a new agent. I go back to this, and I mentioned this numerous times in other videos too, but I'd like to reiterate this, is having a database. Your database is a gold mine. When you have a CRM, a customer relationship management system, you can track people. You can track conversations. You can track where they're at. You can follow up with them. And nurturing somebody eventually leads to a sale. Not everybody in the marketplace that you're talking to right now is ready to sell their house or buy a house or invest. However, when you start to combine all these, and then you have your database, because what's going to happen when you start to run paid ads, you have visibility, providing stuff of value, you start to get leads coming in consistently. You start to get phone numbers, emails, names, where they live, and you have a reason to follow up with them, okay? Because they've downloaded or watched a training that you've put out there, so you have a reason to call them to ask them if they had any other additional questions about the training, or if there's any other support that they would like. It's very easy conversation to have. And when you have your database in place, the fortune is in the follow-up. It really is. Technically, say you have 100 leads come in, only 3 people are in the market to sell or buy right now, really. So 97% is there, but there's still a reason why they downloaded that. It might not be ready now, but they might be ready in 3-4 months, 6 months, a year from now, 2 years from now. And when you can follow up really lightly, a text message, a phone call, hey, how are you? Checking in. Last time you said XYZ, just curious if anything's changed on your end. Any questions about the real estate market? No? Is it okay if I follow up 3 or 4 months from now? Yeah, that's as quick as it can be. 30 seconds to 45 seconds, a conversation with somebody, and nurture them, like depending on where they're at. It could be every 6 months, 8 months, 3 months, 4 months, every month, depending on where they're at in the process. That's how quickly that can happen, okay? So again, I'm gonna reiterate here the 5 different steps that build off of one another. Build your personal brand. Don't rely on a brokerage, okay? Number 2, always think in terms of value. What can I give to the marketplace? What is valuable to home sellers or buyers, okay? Number 3, paid ads, okay? Running paid ads instead of just posting slowly. Yes, you can still post if you'd like. If you would like to supercharge and really make yourself notice and build your personal brand and give the items of value to the marketplace, paid ads, really start to look into that and really start to embrace that. You can do it for very little amounts of money, okay? That'll supercharge your business. And what's that going to do? You're going to get visibility, again, more personal brand. You're going to become a local celebrity. People are going to know who you are, and they're going to recognize your face. It's like a billboard on steroids, seriously. Okay, number 5, have a database. Follow up with people, track people, where they at, gather information, okay? I'm telling you, over time, this compounds like a snowball going down a hill. It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Ultimately, what will this lead to for you as a real estate agent? Well, there's 3 things that it's going to lead to. You're going to have consistency in your business. predictable income coming in. It's going to be predictable. You're always going to have leads coming in, and you're always going to be doing listing presentations, which are ultimately going to lead to having dollars in your bank account, really. Okay, that's why I put that there. You're going to have consistent GCI that builds on top of itself. Consistency. Consistent GCI. I mean, that's why we're in the business, right? Why are you doing this otherwise? Because you would like consistent GCI, and you would probably like your time freedom. You didn't get into this business to work 24/7. I didn't either, and I don't want to, okay? I would like my personal freedom, and wouldn't we all? So we can do things that we love with our family and friends, and we can have the means, the resources and money to do those things, okay? That's why we're doing this. So why don't we maximize what we're doing so we can get more of this to do the things ultimately that we would like to do in our life, and not have money here a restriction. Okay, personally for me, you like to get to a point in your life where you can make decisions not based on money, but because you would like to do it. You don't want to go to a restaurant and be like, well, I'd like to get the cheesecake, but the ice cream is $5 cheaper, so I'll go with the ice cream, even though I really like the cheesecake. If I want the cheesecake, I'm gonna get the cheesecake. That's it. You want to be able to get to a point where you can make decisions like that. I mean, this is a fabricated example of this, but this is what I'm talking about. And the trips that you'd like to go on with your family, the travel, whatever it may be for you that you're passionate about, that you value in your life, you would ultimately like to get to a point. Money, that resource, that tool, doesn't restrict you. And when you start to implement these 5 secrets as a real estate agent, this is where this starts to supercharge and starts to grow this, so you can have your consistent income. Okay? If you'd like support with some of the ads and getting visibility and all this stuff, there's a link below. Our team can help you. You can book a call with us for sure. Okay, we'd be happy to help you. Or you can implement this yourself, of course. Embrace this, take this on, and watch your business grow as a real estate agent, okay? If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Let me know. Subscribe to the channel. When you subscribe to the channel, it incentivizes me to continue to create valuable content like this to make your life easier, simpler as a real estate agent, so you can grow it so you're not restricted by money, okay? So you can do the things you ultimately would like to do in your life. And if you'd like to learn more about online marketing, sales funnels, watch these videos here. I'm Mick Doherty, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Bye for now.